an open challenge to the DPP and the government. Free speech is not yours to Police Director of Public Prosecutions and the Government of St. Kitts and Nevis. Let me be clear. Your recent press release on the charges against Miss Dorset and the accompanying warnings to the public are a dangerous overreach. Your attempt to muzzle free speech under the guise of protecting the judicial process is an affront to democracy, an insult to the intelligence of the public, and a direct threat to the constitutional rights of the people. Let's call it what it is: intimidation. By warning citizens to refrain from discussing this matter publicly and threatening legal action for inappropriate comments, you are walking a very fine line between maintaining order and suppressing dissent. The line is clear, and you're dangerously close to crossing it. Justice does not require silence from the public. It thrives on transparency and accountability. You seem to have forgotten that. Citizens have every right to question and discuss a case involving allegations of misconduct within your own office. This is not just a legal matter, it's a public interest issue. When a Crown prosecutor stands accused of helping a fugitive, the people are entitled to talk about it, debate it, and even criticize it. If your office can't handle that scrutiny, then the problem isn't with the public, it's with you. Now let's address your warnings about inappropriate comments and speculation. Who defines what's inappropriate? You? The same office that's now in the spotlight for allegedly harboring corruption? That's rich. Telling people to avoid social media discussions or risk legal consequences reeks of arrogance. The justice system exists to serve the people, not to protect the egos of those running it. And let's not pretend this is about preserving the integrity of the trial. The real integrity issue here is the one staring back at you. How do you plan to lecture the public on fairness when the leaks from law enforcement have already compromised the investigation? Maybe start by cleaning your own house before dictating how citizens should behave in theirs. Here's some advice. Instead of trying to intimidate the people, focus on regaining their trust. You've got a serious public relations problem on your hands. A Crown prosecutor being charged is bad enough, but the optics of silencing the public make it worse. You want to protect the judicial process? Good. Start by ensuring transparency, not secrecy. Start by treating the people as stakeholders in justice, not as nuisances. Let me remind you, free speech is not a privilege granted by your office. It is a constitutional right. It is the right of every citizen to speak up, question, and even criticize, especially when those in positions of power are under the microscope. If you think threatening legal action against social media chatter will silence dissent, think again. The public will not be bullied into submission. The message is simple. Do your job, prosecute fairly, and uphold the law. But do not overstep your bounds. The people of this federation will not sit quietly while you attempt to shield yourself from public accountability under the pretense of justice. Respect the people's right to free speech, because in the end, you are accountable to them, not the other way around. The motto of this federation is country above self. It's time for your office to start living by it.
The Director of Public Prosecutions Office, DPPO, announces with profound regret that charges have been brought against one of its Crown Counsel prosecutors, Miss Chantrice Dorset, by the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. The charges stem from the tragic murder of Mr. Akeem Archibald, a young man who was fatally shot with a high-powered semi-automatic rifle on July 20th, 2024. In the aftermath of this incident, the prime suspect, Mr. Kieran Phillip, also known as Tall Up, hereafter referred to as the fugitive, fled the Federation by sea and remains at large. Following an extensive police investigation into the murder and efforts to apprehend the fugitive, Ms. Chantrice Dorset has been formally charged with the following offenses. 1. Accessory after the fact to murder. 2. Attempting to pervert the course of justice by assisting the fugitive in fleeing the Federation to shield him from a murder investigation. 3. Attempting to pervert the course of justice by assisting the fugitive in fleeing the Federation to shield him from an unlawful possession of firearm investigation. 4. Attempting to pervert the course of justice, assisting the fugitive in fleeing the Federation to shield him from a trial for the attempted murder of a person in an unrelated matter. 5. Misconduct in public office, advising and counseling the fugitive based on her knowledge as a prosecutor to assist him in evading the police. 6. Corruption, trying to use her influence as a prosecutor to get the firearm used in the murder surrendered under an amnesty program. It is also noteworthy that charges relating to the possession of the high-powered automatic rifle believed to have been used in this crime have been previously laid against the fugitive's close relative, one Mr. B.J. Tuckett, who is currently awaiting trial on remand. The DPP emphasizes that in accordance with the principles of justice, Ms. Dorset is presumed innocent until proven guilty. It remains the Director of Public Prosecutions Office duty to uphold the integrity of the judicial process and ensure that Ms. Dorset is afforded her constitutional right to a fair trial. The Director of Public Prosecutions Office also urges the general public to act with maturity and refrain, I repeat, refrain from speculating about this case based on rumors or publishing inaccurate information that could prejudice the fair trial of these charges. Inappropriate comments or speculation on social media or other public platforms could interfere with the ongoing investigation, undermine the fairness of the judicial process, and it could result in legal consequences. Examples of inappropriate comments include accusations or assumptions of guilt, statements that suggest or reveal confidential details of the investigation, speculation about the evidence or the motives in this case. The Director of Public Prosecutions Office will not hesitate to take firm action against anyone who seeks to interfere with the administration of justice through such conduct. Despite best efforts to contain information related to this sensitive case, leaks touching on the investigation have been noted. Any law enforcement officer found leaking information will face severe disciplinary and legal consequences. The DPPO reiterates its commitment to making an example of those who undermine the sanctity of the justice system by engaging in such unethical practices. The DPPO further reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the rule of law and the pursuit of justice, irrespective of the parties involved. Further updates will be provided to the public as this case progresses. Here ends my press release, and I just want to remind the good citizens of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis, our national motto is country above self. If you want to assist in this investigation, send the information to the right channels, not on social media. Thank you very much.